A massive fortnight coming your way. Won't miss a moment of it. The Bledisloe Cup and the conclusion of the Rugby Championship here on Stan Sport. And as teased, we've got a very special guest joining us now on Rugby Heaven. A big warm welcome to Nic White. And Whitey, we're going to give you a round of applause, mate. Retirement number 2. What a way to go out. An incredible last 5 test matches. Are you at peace with the decision now, mate?
I am, yeah. Thanks, hey guys. Yeah, very at peace with it. I was at peace with it, obviously in Sydney, and then it's just been an absolute bonus the last. What has it been? 6 weeks and 4 games. To go to Africa and to play Argentina. But very very at peace with it. It's been surreal. I've been very happy for the, kind of since I made the decision. I know it's right, and it's been a ride.
I'd ask you to belt out your best John Farnham impression, but we won't put that on air. But no regrets. Didn't want to get out back one last chance at the Bledisloe.
No, look, and it's probably right. I talked to that a little bit. Like anyone who's worn a Wallaby jersey would absolutely love the chance to have a crack at the Kiwis and have a crack at the Bledisloe again. But look, my body's been pretty busted for a while now. Obviously spoke to Joe about finishing in the Lions, and that needed me to kind of go 4 more games, and been pushing through a fair bit to get through the last 4 weeks, and I've emptied the tank. But I've got 2 knee surgeries I need to get done next month, and then
Wow.
I've got to, which is quite ironic, I've got to get my legs straightened.
Is that right?
Then,
Is that going to make you taller, Whitey?
Mate, I'm hoping so.
He's keeping it on the down low. He's actually going to Turkey.
But I'll stop in there on the way as well. But no, look, my knee has been giving me a fair bit of grief for a fair while now, and it's been a worry of, and I must admit, in great hands with the doctors we have, and Chris Barr and Gary Mitchell at the Wallabies have told me for a while now I'm kind of on a slippery slope there with that, and I need to get it done and get that fixed. But I've also got a shoulder that I've got to get totally replaced in the next kind of 6 to 12 months. So
Wow.
I've been pushing through a fair bit, and by no means I was happy to do it. But now's the time. Like it's, I played the last 4 games, and then as soon as Jake was back, it was a tag team to get him in there, and he's the future to be there in 27. But it's I've certainly got no regrets. I said I'd play till the wheels fell off, and 3 of the 4 wheels have fallen off.
They're nearly fallen off.
When they wheel you out of St John of God Hospital, you're going to look like Nordberg out of The Naked Gun, Whitey. But, mate,
That's such a niche reference.
I'm just one of those. Whitey,
I don't know who that is, but I just imagine it's a whole lot of plaster. But I'll go with it.
Google it. You'll come up with the juice. You'll go to all sorts of rabbit warrens after that one. Hey, I want to hypothetically put one in front of you, Whitey, because we were talking about it off air. Famous moment back in 2012 when John Terry, captain of Chelsea, he was serving a suspension. He's sitting in the grandstand. Chelsea wins the UEFA Champions League, and he runs down into the change rooms and gets changed and runs out and celebrates with the team. If the Wallabies can beat the All Blacks in Eden Park and then do the job in Perth, are you going to be keeping the gear in a kit bag so you can just come down on the field for a cheeky little celebration?
I already told Joe that week the boys are over in Perth that I've still got the kit and I'll rock up the training. They just have to tell me where and when, and I'll be there. So, look, I'll run around, fill up some water bottles and squirt the boys and annoy them as I do. But I'd absolutely love to be there in the sheds. If the boys were able to do that, and an incredible moment it'll be. But I'll be around the squad, hopefully that week regardless.
Hey, Whitey, you have to excuse the journo in me, mate. I want to dig down a little bit more on the body because I just find it fascinating and courageous that you've pushed yourself those extra 5 tests that you played, or extra 4 tests, but 5 if we include the 3rd against the Lions. How much were you putting yourself through, or how much were you having to put up with to train and play against the Lions, 2 against South Africa, 2 against Argentina?
Look, a fair bit, and it's not something that, like I said, Doc and certainly Joe, knew about. It was probably more the training demands, and as someone who I am, I demand high standards of everyone who I train with, and it's something a lot of boys get sick of. But in order to demand high standards, you have to live up to them. And I guess the pain I was pushing myself through at training to be able to do everything, to make sure I'm doing everything the best I possibly could was making the Monday to Friday quite hard. Obviously, game day comes along, and the adrenaline, excitement of playing for your country or running out to all the fans, that got me through that. But it would take me a few days. I'd be limping the start of the week, and push myself through it. Like I said, it was, if you're going to be that guy, you have to live up to it yourself, and I found that really difficult towards the back end. But I think boys let me off a little bit once they knew a little bit of what was going on. But yeah, it's something I felt was also starting to impact my personal life as well, and that's when I decided a change needed to happen, and the end needed to come, because if it's affecting my ability to be a dad and be a husband, well then it's I've got priorities there.
Whitey, you've obviously been around this squad for a long time now. This year especially, it's just the turnaround in this Wallaby squad. Does it feel like something special could come? Everyone kind of is jumping on the bandwagon right now, but does it feel like the Bledisloe could be a possibility this year, and something bigger beyond that?
Well, it certainly feels like something special is brewing. I think it's just off the back of what people can see, the way we're going about our work, and I think the boys are putting in. We speak about it internally, earning it every day, and we'll talk about that. Earning the support we're getting at the moment, and that you build on those kind of foundations, and the habits that you earn every single day. Well, then you go out there and play in a certain way, and people can respect that. Obviously, we didn't get a couple of results in the last couple of weeks, but the way we went about our work, I think a lot of people can see a lot of hard work going into the jersey, a lot of pride, not shirking anything, and never giving up, and people respect that, and it's awesome to see. Obviously results help as well, but it's the way we're going about it. And look, whether or not that something special comes in the next couple of weeks or in a couple of years, I think if they can continue to work at it every day, and they've got the right people in there to drive that in the staff and the players, it's exciting to see where this group can go. But no, I'm not going to put that out there and give you the headline.
Come on, mate.
When that's coming, I do really believe that it is something that the boys will just continue to work at and grow, and it is exciting. Anything could happen.
Whitey, a couple of quick ones, and apologies I put you on the spot, but give us your career highlight, best memory on or off the pitch is fine. And then secondly, you've always been known to be a great sledger. You always seem to be into someone, whoever it may be. Who's the best sledger you've come up against or heard or played with? Favourite moment, I think getting my first game for Australia was pretty special. And then one of recent that just pops out is obviously Johannesburg. That was pretty special. Off-field ones, I'll keep those ones for luncheons and no cameras. And then, best sledger. Look, there's been a few. I find the English boys were pretty good. Like a notable mention to maybe Joe Marler, someone like that. He gave me grief, but I think Dan Cole's Kiwi. Every time the bled would come around, me and him find each other, we'd get into each other. But I love the way we'd always find each other for a hug and a beer afterwards. So but awesome. He was very good-witted.
You always gave as good as you got, Whitey. We can always say that about you, mate. I just want to finish on. There's a couple other veterans in the team. James Slipper's on the cusp of 150 Test appearances, which is just incredible. Slightly older than you. He's been going around forever. I referred to him as spring chicken in the pre-game on the weekend, and he played like one, getting back in the 22 and taking that mark. But how much longer does Slips have to go? Is he sort of shaking his head at you, pulling the pin before he's even done it?
Yeah, he's disappointed that I've pulled the pin before him. But no, look, he's an anomaly. He is him. He's I honestly think he could just keep going if he wants to, and that'll be something that I'm sure he'll decide. But he's an impressive human. Honestly, he's someone I've always looked up to, and while he's around the group, he has that. He's one of those people when you meet, I'm sure you guys have felt it as well, just has a real presence.
He does, and much loved by his teammates. He is an older figure, but he's a big kid at heart too, isn't he? Much like yourself, Whitey. Hey, before we let you go, no doubt you're thinking about what's next. Are you going to be in the media at some point? Are you going to become a pundit, mate? Is that what's next for someone who is as vocal as you are?
Look, if you have me,
here's your chance to audition, Whitey. Yeah, go for it.
I've been look, I'd love to stay in Perth here and help out over here first and foremost, and if we can get something done, that'd be great. But look, I'm always here if you need someone over in Perth, or if I need to travel, I'd love to. Test season.
We'll clip that up and we'll send it to the bosses, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, if you could send it to the bosses, that'd be great. Chef, if you need me,
we'll do, mate. We'll keep you in mind.
Hey, Timmy Horan's had a job for 23 years. If he can hold down a job in media for that long, I reckon you're a shot, mate. Hey,
I had the pleasure up in Townsville of listening to Timmy do his a few of his yarns. Like I said, the luncheon yarns, the away from the cameras yarns, phenomenal.
Yeah. He's good.
Morgs was disappointed at how hard I was laughing.
When you've reused the same material for over 2 decades, Whitey, it becomes finally
That's what Morgs was disappointed. He's like, you haven't heard this before? I said, mate, this is good. Look, I do. If I could stay in rugby in any way, I would love to. Like, I'd just love to give back to the game in any way I can. And look, like I said, I'd love to be over here in Perth, and I've got 3 little boys that love rugby, so I'll be down at West Scarborough most Saturday mornings.
Yeah, good. Unreal. Well, mate, great career. Congratulations. All the best in retirement, and I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty of you around in the coming weeks, months and years as well. Thanks for joining us on Rugby Heaven, Whitey.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, great man. And an incredible legacy he leaves behind. For me, I think the legacy as a player, what he leaves behind is just the ultimate competitor. He was never not trying to do everything he could to win for his team.
Yeah, and I think that just is proven by the fact that he's literally falling to pieces right now. Yeah. He went out and played again on the weekend, and there was a big knock to his shoulder, and finding out that he needs a complete replacement, you kind of realise what he's been putting his body through.
Yeah, exciting to hear he wants to stick around in rugby as well. Wouldn't it be great to keep in mind like Nic White involved with the Force and with the Wallabies on a wider scale to help with some of the young guys coming through? You know, just awesome to talk to him, and congratulations on an amazing career.
Yeah, superb to have him on Rugby Heaven.